#1 right now for whips?
I think the Tomasunas.
Tomasunas, that guy's sick.
The progression of Nick Tomasunas' whips,
It's f***ing sick. Dude, it rips. Bike controls unreal.
to see the progression, I'm like, dude, he's amazing.
Okay guys, today's the day. We are finally back from a broken rib. If you missed the last video, I had a pretty big crash. Just a brain fart mistake. Ended up cracking my 11th rib. Was out for almost 4 weeks now. It's about 2.5 weeks. Doc said around like 3 to 4, you're good to go. Actually, I rode a couple days ago to test it and I feel pretty good. So we're gonna try and test it on the ramp, see if we can get back in the swing of things. But I haven't ridden a ramp in like 2 months too. So I'm gonna get those first jump jitters out of the way, get the feeling back, test the rib out. Just kind of a nice, like, not chill because it's never chill, but like, you know, just kind of have some fun today. So that's the plan. Oh, let me see the Stark Varg real quick. I don't even remember what horsepower I'm on. Mode 1, 55.0. Okay, yeah. Pretty cold today too. It's like a high of like 52. A couple days ago it was like mid 80s, so we're having a bit of a fall swing here in Michigan. Okay, I haven't hit the ramp in a while, but once you hit one ramp, you hit them all, mainly. So I'm gonna work this run-in real quick because it's pretty loose. Then we're just gonna get right to it because that's the easiest way to do it, is just get right to it. And what I mean by work the run-in is since I don't have a mat that goes all the way to where it's just the same consistency every single time, I have dirt. So I need to kind of get a hard packed line in because when I groom it without water, you can see it's pretty dusty and like kind of slippery. Okay. A little slow, a little bit of a knuckle, not really a knuckle, but again, I haven't hit a ramp in so long that it's almost like a skill to be able to hit a ramp perfect every single time just because it's so intimidating. The rib feels good. We'll get a few going here and then we'll start warming up. Like low key, I think my bars are a little tweaked from last time I crashed and I never fixed it. But let me hit it again, kind of feel that out. Oh yeah, it's gonna come right back. I don't know what I was tripping about. But my bars are a little like this because my crash, I landed on the right side. Let me bang these back real quick. We've all been there before. I don't want to hear any comments about how I'm not doing it properly. It's late July, early August since I've hit a ramp, so I probably won't session it too long. This video's probably not going to be too long. I just want to feel the rib out, you know? It's also freezing and I don't have engine heat to keep my hands up, so I'm just kind of raw dogging it. See, this is what I'm talking about because I don't have the whole run up covered. So I get like super powdery dust because it hasn't rained in months either, really. And I get this super dusty, choppy, like da 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 da, and then I hop onto this and I have to like give it. So if anybody has any recommendations for like material to cover the run up that's not like a turf, drop them down below. It needs to be 4 feet wide by at least 75 foot long, or at least I need to make sections into 75 foot long. And I'm not trying to spend a bazillion dollars on it because it's just kind of towards the end of the season. It's going to be snowing here and obviously I could take it in, but I just need something to get me through the rest of the year. All right, let's see if we can't crack a few for maybe 5-10 minutes. My only go for today is to just kind of get back to being a little bit more comfortable again. there. And my forks were bound up earlier this morning. The front wheel was locking up. I'm assuming because I crashed and didn't really have the thought process to go over the bike. So the forks are a little like bound up and they're pinched together, so the front wheel was dragging a little bit. So we reset that this morning. Just making sure that's all good. I feel good, surprisingly. Oh man, it's been a minute since I felt that feeling. Not my biggest, but man, I feel so good to just be doing that again. It's like it's a weird thing. Ever since I quit racing, it's like I have to just go and chase the biggest slip I can do that day. It's just like a weird way to exert like the energy I'd normally have from training. What's up?
What happened?
Oh, it's from the steg pegs.
No, you're all messed up.
Yeah, it's from pulling the steg pegs. Okay, so if you're wondering why I run steg pegs, so this is from, I'm gonna have to fully reset this plastic, but this is from my leg hitting this and pulling this back. Otherwise my leg would have slipped. So there you go, there's proof. Damn. Let's go back and reset that real quick. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to take that bolt all the way out. There we go. Okay, let's run it back. Yeah, that side hurts the ribs a little bit. I can't go that way with my ribs. Yeah, that was kind of sick. I was gonna wheelie up the run up and then drop in and pin it and then dip it. Oh, that was sketchy. Okay, I'm not doing that again. That was so sketchy. I hit the conveyor belt and get a little bit of air, like I'm wheel tapping it, and I just pin it just to get over it. Ah, yeah, the neck hurts the ribs a little bit. Damn, that one was fat. All right, I'm gonna call it on that one. I told myself I'm gonna just give it all one time, and that was it. So I'm good on the day. We're calling it.
Okay, so now that we're done riding for the day and we're all good there, I did put out a post on my Instagram story and YouTube community post asking you guys to drop me some questions that you want to ask me, and Got a handful here that I'm gonna answer for you guys, so let's get into it. I just started riding dirt bikes. Should I keep one finger on the front brake at all times, or should I learn to hold the throttle without the finger? I kind of got used to the first one and feel weird / can't even jump without perfect index finger on the front brake. Is it a bad habit, and what's your grip when riding? Thanks in advance. Okay, so it's not a terrible habit, although I would prefer, I would recommend to not jump with your index finger on your front brake, because if you're slowly dragging it, it'll slow the spin of the front wheel, and then you could potentially get front end lock in the air, and that's a no-go. You'll more than likely crash, or you'll get super squirrely when you land. So if I was you, I would probably try to ride without it, or like jump without it hanging out. Otherwise, the rest of the track, that's perfect. Like I ride like this most of the time. Just try not to jump with it on the front brake, because even if you're not squeezing it, it'll rest and kind of slightly drag it. It's the same with the clutch. Like, you can ride like this, that's fine, but if you have a bad habit of dragging the clutch, you're probably gonna have a bad habit of dragging the front brake too. So I would just say probably try to get used to death gripping it when you jump at least. Other than that, that's a good habit to have. How do you get to a level of jumping where you don't think about the reality of crashing horribly if you get it wrong? Do you have to take huge risks to get to that level, or is it repetition? So the thought of crashing never really leaves my mind. I'm very conscious about that, and I try to be as safe as possible. Although sometimes you kind of have to shut the brain off and trust your instincts. And as long as your gut tells you like you've got it, then you've got it. You know, if your gut's telling you, I might second guess this, I'm not feeling comfortable, you're probably not gonna wanna do that jump, or whatever it is that your gut's telling you not to do. That's my personal opinion, is I always try to follow my gut. And yeah, be conscious of the risk you're taking, but sometimes you just kind of have to turn the brain off. Like just today, I had to just turn my brain off to hit that ramp for the first time and trust my instincts, and I got over it clean, got over it perfect. If I was out there second guessing it, as you guys saw me second guess that wheelie coming into that ramp and shoot off to the side, it's a no-go. So here's my personal opinion, just trust your gut and be conscious about what you're doing, but sometimes just trust your instincts. Next question, why did you switch to Stark? So long story short, Stark invited me out to test their bike a couple years ago. I really liked it. Got on really well with the crew over there. And I knew like the rear wheel speed on these was tenfold of a 450, and I knew that's very important for whips, and that's what I was trying to go for at the time. So I still am trying to go for it. So I knew these bikes were the bike to be on, and just formed a relationship over there, and things kind of snowballed into where we're at now. What do you think could let you whip harder than you're already going? So there's a few things that I've been experimenting with on this bike, mainly weight distribution, front and rear, a couple things like that. And just kind of getting, I don't know, we're gonna hit a limit here pretty shortly of like how big you can physically go without spinning all the way around. But weight distribution, like having a, you know, say a heavier rear tire might help. I don't know. I'll leave that up to interpretation for you guys. How many championships have you won? I have one AMA Amateur National Championship. I have a Baja Brawl Schoolboy 1 title that I did beat Austin Faulkner for. So that's my claim to fame. That was a peak of my amateur career. If you want to count that as an amateur title, let's count it. If not, then zero. I do have another podium in the 250B stock class on Minio's Supercross, like 2016 or 17 or something. But no like big Loretta's titles or anything. Why don't you just go for the 360? So number one, I'm not a freestyle rider. I don't plan to be a freestyle rider. Yes, I did just ride a freestyle ramp, but I don't do tricks, really. I do a knack-knack, that's about it. And I don't plan to do any flips, spins, whatever. I'm leaving that to the freestyle guys that do the jumps and the demos and shows and all that stuff. Not my forte. I just like chasing the whip and kind of putting all my energy into trying to be the best whipper ever. So that's kind of where my energy's going. I'm not planning on doing flips or spins or anything. I do believe a turn down like flat spin or like a front end dip 360 is possible. I know they do normal 360s, like I'm sure you guys have seen people doing them lately, but I believe a fully dipped out like turn down 360 would be possible, although I'm probably not going to be the person to do it. I know maybe down the road if I ever got into a foam pit, maybe, but other than that, probably not gonna see me do any 360s. This is probably the most asked question. Where did the all white come from? Another long story short, I got injured. My gear sponsor at the time, One Industries, closed shop the same year I got injured. I had no results. This is back in 2015. So it's over 10 years that I've been running all white. But long story short, gear sponsor shut down, which was One Industries at the time. Didn't have a gear sponsor. Started running all white as like a your logo here type deal, and it kind of turned into a marketing gig, and I'm never gonna leave it. I'll always be all white. Sure, I wear, you know, production color gear for my gear sponsors and all that stuff, and that's not gonna change, but majority of the time I'll be all white. And even if it's not like full blank like this stuff is, it'll have a little bit of gray design on here and there, which that might be a hint to something. But I'll still be all white, and it's mainly just a marketing gig that, you know, was born from me losing a gear sponsor. What is one weakness you are always working to improve or are conscious about while riding? So I have a really bad habit of riding hunchback because I have had some upper back injuries and some lower back injuries. I have a couple herniated discs in my back too. So I ride hunchback, so I'm always trying to fix my posture and straighten my back out. As you guys see, all the top riders are doing it. That's how they ride. That's the best way to ride and have a strong posture, a strong core, strong form. So I'm always trying to ride and get rid of my hunchback. Were you fortunate enough to grow up on, say, your parents' large property with tractors and equipment and be able to ride more freely than others? Is that how you found the time to and skill to be comfortable on the bike like you are? So yes and no. I was very blessed with parents that had, I think we had 40 acres of riding land when I was little. It was all sand. It wasn't anything spectacular. I didn't have a crazy track or anything. What is that? Sorry, somebody's car's whistling or something. Anyways, I was very fortunate to have parents that got me into moto at a really young age. We had property. I had the tools to build like a small track. I had a tractor. And I mainly rode pit bikes up until I was like 11, 12. Didn't really like riding big bikes. I had a 60, 65, 85. But most of the time I just rode pit bikes with my friends, and I'll attest to all of my skills and all of my foundation and basics on a bike to riding pit bikes so much. I didn't really grow up riding and motoing until I was like 12, 13, and then we moved to a facility, which is where the technical skills came in. But yes, I was very blessed, and I'm very fortunate to have parents that had the property to allow me to do what I do. What's next? Whips are sick. What route? Carson Brown or Axel? Or have you got your own thing planned? So this is a good question that I kind of wanted to answer, because a lot of people compare me to Axel because I do like the wheelie landings and all that, which I totally get it. I didn't get that from him. I learned that skill at MTF, Millsteps Training Facility. Actually, we do like drills on a Friday where we practice slow wheelies, landing in a wheelie, picking your front end up over some bumps, like technical stuff like that. So that's where I picked it up. But it's an interesting question because I don't plan to go the freestyle route like Axel does, and I don't really plan to just do like track riding and stuff like Carson Brown does. And Carson Brown has his own thing. He's always riding anything and everything, and that dude is unbelievably talented. Same with Axel. But I don't plan to follow either of those routes. I kind of just like doing my own thing. I like doing the big whips. I like going to tracks and finding stuff that's either not meant to be jumped or not meant to be ridden like that, and riding it differently, and just trying to find little fun things to make dirt bikes look as fun as possible for you guys. I'm not trying to be this crazy backflip into seat stand wheelie thing like Axel, even though that stuff is super awesome to watch and it's entertaining. It's just not my cup of tea, and I just kind of like sticking to my own thing, riding super smooth, having good form, big whips, or at least having as best form as I possibly can, and just making riding look fun and having a blast doing it. And I guess wherever that takes me is where it takes me. Okay guys, that is it. That's 10 questions for you guys. If you'd like me to make this a segment in every video where I answer a couple questions, I'd kind of be down for that. I think it's kind of fun and interesting. We might run out of questions pretty quickly, so I might only have to do like 1 or 2 to make it interesting for a long period of time. But regardless, if you guys think that's a cool idea, drop it down below, let me know. And I'm gonna go warm up because it's 50 degrees out here and I just cooled down from riding, so I'm freezing now. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And now that we're back and healthy, we should be seeing you guys pretty frequently. So until next video, see you.
Ladies and gentlemen,